Right, more making up as we go along. I've gone back to acrylics now. I'm just preparing my palette. It's a Masterson Stay Wet palette. I've got cadmium yellow, yellow ochre, orange, white of course, crimson, cadmium red, ultramarine, burnt umber, black and viridian. I might not use them all, but the palette is. I've had this for must be 20, 25 years. They're not that expensive. The Masterson, they're marketed through Chromacolour, or at least I saw a demonstration of Chromacolour some years ago. The Chromacolour inks, the American, and the guy that was demonstrating them was using a Stay Wet palette. There are two that I use anyway. There's a smaller one than this, but this is absolutely superb. It's never broken. It's been abused, and I've used it. It's got a very tough lid. It's not guaranteed watertight, and you wouldn't carry it under your arm because the paints would obviously slide. But I'm doing a demonstration in acrylic next week for a small group that's run by a friend of mine, and I don't know what I'm going to do. I'll make it up as I go along, but it will certainly be based on something that I've previously done. This one I did that I like, one I did several weeks ago. It's a very sort of abstract landscape, obviously, but I like it because I like all of this. But I'm going to do something. Well, I don't know. I'm just going to make it up as I go along. So this is the joy of painting. It's also the joy of not working from a photograph. I'm working from a painting that was made up anyway. But there are certain things I like. In acrylic, I love using black, and I love using the cad yellow because you get a lovely range of greens. And you can mix a bit of red with it. I can't really show you all the workings of this, but let's just put in some. I was going to do a bosom, but I can still do that. Put a bit of water on here. Just have some stuff on the. Let's just put a couple of trees. Imagine that the road would be this side, and bosom would be. I've done lots of bosom, as you know, but that sort of thing. I'm not going to call it bosom. I'm just going to make something up. And I want a bit of ultramarine. So let's just. Whatever you do, you're going to change anyway. So I wouldn't be too literal with it. This does dry very quickly. Although the thicker you put it on, the longer it will take. We'll do some distance in here. Right, so let's put in some catching the light. And I'll paint the sky down to the landscape, but I think this is such a nice way of painting. But so don't be too exact at the beginning stage. You know you're going to change it, but what we're doing as well is putting texture on this piece of Fabriano on a previous demo that I don't particularly like. Let's just come in here with some more. Now I want some blue now, then I'm going to mix a bit of white with the blue. Show a bit of distance behind as well. Just feeling our way with this. And put that in the water, and we'll just put a bit of land in. bit of ochre, with a bit of red. Maybe we'll put a bit of water coming in here somewhere, just a tide coming in. Now you just bear in mind that you can change whatever you put in on this. This is sort of meadow. I want to get that dark shadow in there now. Bit of burnt umber, a bit of black. Let's just get that in there. Coming down here. No, I'm not happy about that, so I might bring the sky over that. But you, as I say, you can change any time you like. You need plenty of rag, keep your brushes scrupulously clean, or in the water. But remember that I'm using these inch varnish brushes, Pro Art. They're about £4 each, but you can buy them cheaper if you shop around. And most of the acrylics here are Wilkinson's own brand, quality artist materials. £1.50 for a tube. So if you're visiting from America, you could buy a lot of those paints and take them back with you to America, considering the state of the pound at the moment. Right, okay, let's put in some bushy stuff. Just filling in some foreground here. I do foregrounds quickly. Just use some palette grey now. Where I've got a bit of mess, I can use that paint as an underpainting. Because remember, I can change. Bit of shadow. These are greys. I certainly don't pick difficult subjects when I'm demonstrating, because we only have an hour and a half or so for us talking, entertaining, trying to make people laugh, answering their stupid questions, some of them. Don't mean to patronise them, but some do ask. If they thought about it, they know the answer. Okay. Bit of a dull bit here, maybe going brighter. But I like demonstrating, it's always a challenge. Right, let's get more. Right, let's put some water in now. The ferrule holds a lot of water, so beware of it. I shake it on the floor. I've got a rug on carpet tiles here, so I'm quite safe for that. So water, bit of blue, bit of greeny in the water. Okay, that's where the water is, obviously. So don't ask a question. Right, a bit of a sky now. I'm just going to clean my brush, or a brush, and start working out a sky. What sort of sky shall we put in? I need to just take off that bit of iridium off my palette. So I'll just get a bit of tissue. I've got a big roll of tissue here, so I can keep things fairly clean. The membranes that come with you can buy separately. I get mine online. They last quite a long time. They let the water come through, but don't let the paint go back. And I've got this on half a dozen layers of kitchen paper underneath, which seems to work better than the sponges that are provided. The sponges are prone to rotting after several days. You can use a bit of ammonia in the water, which does tend to kill off some of the microbacteria that turns your underneath black. Not very nice, and it does compromise the quality of the thin. I don't know if I've got one here to show you. Oh, I've got a bit of it. That expands into much thicker, much bigger. It spreads out with water, but you can see where I've rescued it. It starts to get a bit mildewy. The membranes come in packets of, I don't know, 20, 30 sheets. They're not over expensive, and they are durable. Very, very good. Plus my stash of Wilkinson's acrylics. Every time I go to Wilkinson's, I buy 2 or 3 tubes for stock, because it won't be there forever. Right, let's make a nice sky. So a bit of crimson, bit of yellow ochre. This particular brush the bristles are just a little bit soft, but it doesn't matter. You can help the process by spraying with water. Just bring sky into the soften the edges a little bit. I don't want the sky to be bitty, but it's just adding the colour on until we cover up the ground. I've just put a burnt sienna ground over it, and I've also I've diluted it with a bit of PVA diluted glue, a bit of burnt umber in there. Just cover it up. Okay. You can do the sky first and superimpose as you go. I mean, I used to do that, but it does seem to have a sort of a bit of more of an impact by painting down. I suppose it doesn't really matter ultimately. Both are right. There's no rules to this, other than don't paint on oil previous oil painting with acrylic. You can do the other way round, oil on acrylic, but not acrylic on oil. The acrylic won't stick. And I've also put a coat of PVA glue diluted on the back, so that it's waterproof. The thing that attracted me to the view in the first place, looking towards Bosom, was with the wildflowers. There were poppies. That's not dark enough. Oh, lovely poppies, wildflowers, and just the contrast between the lights and the dark. Now I've got to separate that with a bit of land there. Now remember, this is sort of an abstract, so right, let's put a bit of shadow in here and there now. A bit darker now, I think. That's still a bit wet there, so that'll take a little bit of a drying. Right, let's get some reedy, grassy colours going in there. Clean the brush. So reeds, grasses coming around there. We'll put more blue as we go into the distant. Hopefully this is only going to take one session. You can always dry this with a hairdryer as you go along, but I won't do it. It will take too long at the moment. I'm just working around the wet bits. That sky needs to just come down a bit. Ah, that's not dry. That's not taking. Okay, let's just work on the sky for a little bit. Let's put some shadow in the sky. A bit darker. Let's try a bit of burnt umber, bit of ultramarine, and a lot of white. See what sort of grey we can add. Okay, we can put this cloud underneath. Don't use pure white. Mix it with a colour. You need more whites than any other colour. The white is artist quality. You've got to have a good quality white. The Wilkinson stuff is okay for bits and pieces, but it just hasn't got the covering power that the artist quality has. So you only need 2 or 3 artist qualities. The rest are you can get by with the ordinary cheaper ones. Right, let's get some nice dark blue and burnt umber. But on the blue side, but a bit of heavy stuff in here. Right, go back again. Right, let's have a bit of alizarin in some of this here. That's a bit of colour, or a bit of cade red. Nice, warm. A bit of pink. Use whatever colour you like. Everyone, I like this. I like that darker. No, we've still got to keep away from that. I'm trying to remember the photograph that I took of this, well, to take several. Coming on. Really dry there. Right, back to the nice grey. Well, that looks alright. Coming in. Using up a lot of my white. Right, so I need a bit darker on that cloud and on this one here, more blue. That really darkens the ultramarine. Right, maybe just a bit. Right, now I'll go back with some lighter stuff underneath that. So those clouds are coming across the light. No. Right, we'll let that go for a minute. We'll go back onto the landscape because that is still just a little bit wet. So let's go into a bit of umber, a bit of white, a bit of ochre. Nice bit of variety in this. Nice grey, and we'll warm it up as we come into the foreground. You can get a nice pastel effect with this, apart from the undulations in the paper. But this sort of thing, it just like there, not there. That was wet. I don't want to slur it into the wet. Okay. Bit of darker shadow in here. I just mixed a bit of burnt umber with that previous colour. So it's a sort of grey. We'll put some nice grassy colour, just viridian and the cad yellow. So I'll mix a bit of white in. It's a bit of a grey white, but that. So I'm trying to get plenty of colour in this. I also use sap green instead of the viridian. Depends what I feel like really. But I'm not making any photographic copy of anything, no likenesses. Just trying to make a piece of art that nobody else has done. Right, now I'm going to clean my brush and I'm going to put in a more realistic watercolour. Now green, darker green, bit of red and bit of green. Viridian and crimson give a lovely grey. Oh. Drying. This gives a nice, this is just pure Viridian. It's got a bit of white in there. Just going into this background here now. Right, so I need to just change, undulate that a bit more, put some more light, so that this goes from heavy dark green to lighter bluey greens. And Viridian goes very well with white. Oh. As we're going into the distance here, we can these greens in, muted bluey greens. Right, I want to just modify that big wodge of green here. Let's just make it more blocky. I'll go back to that crimson and Viridian. Put some of that in here. There's a lovely grey, lovely cool grey. I'm just going to concentrate on brightening up this foreground now, because I want to put in some wild flowers. Just dragging light paint over. Just sticks where it hits. Right, no dark green, so red, Viridian, yellow. No, that's wrong, that's black. Right, go back to the sky now, I think. I'm going to reclip the paper, see if I can flatten it a bit. We're well on the way to going to the end of this. This is my sort of rehearsal. Watercolour paper is pretty tough. It's made from rag rather than wood. Where's my brush? Keep things soft. I think there's a bit of green's crept in there. So let's just clean off some of this here. Oops. I wear an apron over my jeans because acrylic, once it dries, you've more or less had it. The solvent for it is denatured alcohol. I think we call it methylated spirits. A bit of crimson in there. Just bring that over there. Soften, soften, soften. Bring some of that into the outer foliage. Soften. That is not quite right. That cloud is over the light, so we've got to make sure we do that. I'm sort of liking that a bit more. Well, we've got a sky. I'm not sure it's a great sky, but right. How does that look? That's not too bad. I want to bring some light up here, I think. It's catching the light through the clouds there. I need a bit more red in this to counter change, to counter change. Let's try some orange mixed with some of this. But I'll do the poppies. Remember the reds sing against the greens, so let's put a bit of white with this lot up here. Oh. Excuse me. Don't know who that is. Oh, that's my son. I'll have to get back to him. I've got to go to a football match. Just add a couple more colours into that. Some I'll put it in the mount in a minute. Some yellow bits of here and there. Right, I can't seem to think of anything else to do with that. I'll put it in a mount. We'll have a look at it. Put that on the bottom. Put it on the blue mount. Right, well it's a little bit on the dull side, I must agree, but I don't know. Oh, I do like to be beside the seaside. Well, we've got the water, it's reflecting the sky. This is just a touch. Let's see if we can get some bit of, oh. help. Let's just green that down a bit. Okay, I probably ruined it with that bit there. But anyway, there we are. It's a rehearsal for something I'll do next week. I like the scene itself. I'm not sure I like my painting of it, but we'll live with it. We'll see how it goes. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.